All right, hi, it's Laura. I'm Laura Volpintesta. I'm a fashion illustrator and designer, and I've been a fashion educator at Parsons School Design in New York City and online for 20 years. And I offer private courses online that you can link through my bio. Today I'm going to teach you at least three major problems that people have when they draw faces. So that you can get some value from this, whether you sign up for my course or not. My About Faces digital drawing course is a double course because you learn to create faces, heads, hair, and features from the front, from the profile, and then from the rotations, like the 3/4 angle where you get pieces of the side of the face. Hi, Laura. Um, it's a really exciting course. At the same time, you learn about the face, and I'm going to tell you right now the three biggest problems people have when they draw faces. But I also want to let you know that we use the iPad or iPad mini or digital device iPhone, so you could also learn to use watercolors, acrylics, pencils, pens, brush pens. If you don't have a ton of art supplies at home, your digital device, using just $5 apps that I use for fashion illustration, you get a whole range of art supplies. I mean, to think that you can spend $5, $4.99 for an app and get a full art supply kit without having to lug around and have all this space in your home to accommodate them, I think it's so exciting. Thank you so much, my dear tangueira, tango teacher, dancer, inspiration. So, first thing I'm going to say about the problem people have drawing faces, and it's a great window for life and art study, is that the way we draw things is so based on how we feel and very little based on what we see. For a long time when we begin drawing, hopefully not that long of a time, but it's one of the biggest problems we have. So you've all heard, right? The eyes are the window to the soul. They sure are. Okay, they're like super exciting, beautiful, wonderful eyes. So, and let me make a point here, you don't have to draw things realistically ever. This is not a judgment call because everything is beautiful and awesome in different purposes, but let's say you wanted to draw something based on like a realistic vibe. We feel the eyes so big because of the emotion, the emotional pull, that without any instruction, generally someone's just gonna draw huge eyes. Huge. They'll take up like the whole face. And that is the number one mistake that happens. And it's okay because art is art. Express whatever you want. But sometimes you'd be like, what's off with this drawing? Why is this? And it's the eyes. Hi, Chris. Amazing fashion illustrator, print designer, followed by Chris Keys. Okay, so we tend to draw eyes huge. And here's some tips about it. The space between the eyes also, people tend to draw the eyes not only huge, but right close together. And actually, in my family, we tend to have eyes a little bit close together, closer than most, but still, usually the space between the eyes is equal to the width of the eye. And knowing that rule can help save you from that really, really, really common mistake. So, remember, eyes are an eye space apart. And then the other thing is that the eyes, okay, so we determined that they're not huge, but how do we determine how big they are? One really useful tool that I like to recommend is to pay attention to just the open part of the eye. It's funny, I'm giving you a drawing class without a pencil. But these are like concepts. The length of the eye, compare it to the height of the eye. And I'm only talking about the open part, the edges of the lid. Okay, it's going to be 2 or 2.5 times longer than it is tall. Am I right? Hi, Greater Bombay. I love my Insta family of artists. I get so excited when I see the people who come on. Yay. I want to do an illustration of Greater Bombay so bad. You just wait. I just haven't been able to pick one. Okay, so eyes are long and they are very short. Now, I think there's another reason why people draw eyes huge when they draw them. Is because not only do they feel big emotionally, but you also, what is an eye? So I'm talking about just this area, right? But the eye area is all of this. It's the eyebrow, it's the crease, it's the lashes, it's the little fold underneath, right? So we confuse when we're drawing the eyes, what's the eye? Is it the eye area or is it just the eye? These are things, it's just like concepts in other areas of our life. We don't even stop to question and get clear before we begin our work. And this is what I love about learning art, is that when I learned art skills, I learned that I could change the way I see. When your perception changes, your world changes, your abilities change. So if you can change the way you look at things in art, you can change the way you look at things with money. You can change the way you look at things in parenting. You can, you know, it opens your mind up to perspectives. And I think this is one of the great gifts of learning art. So this is what I can tell you about the eyes. And now, because we're on eyes, I'm going to give you one more tip about eyes. And again, it's going to show you how what we feel, what we think we know, makes us draw things that aren't true. When you look at my eye or anybody's eye, you know that the iris, this circle, you know it's a whole circle. In fact, you even know that the eyeball is a sphere, and this messes up the way you draw. So the iris is a whole circle, but when you see someone, you never see the whole circle. You see how it's partially concealed by my lids? If it's very concealed, then I look sleepy, dopey, out of it. If it's totally visible, I look shocked, surprised, scared. And these are usually emotions that, let's say you're doing fashion illustration, which is what I usually teach. We want people to look kind of like chill and relaxed and happy in their clothes or whatever. We're usually catching people in kind of a natural state, so they're usually not shocked and they're usually not asleep. So it's really important to note that while the iris is a full circle, in your face drawings, they're usually going to be partially concealed. And I told you I'd give you 3 tips, and I think I already gave you 3, but I thought of just a few more, so that I'm going to bring them up to date. So one of them that I can't leave out, or maybe I should ask you to request more. I want to know if you're enjoying this content, so please ask me a question or give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Share it with a friend, and I'll give you more tips. Okay? Here's another tip. Just like we confuse the eye with the eye area, when we go to draw a face, we get confused between the face and the head. So the face, if you think about cognitively what we think about as a face, it's really the front of something. Like even the face of a penny, it's the front. So we think of the face as just this. But there is no such thing as just a face. The face lives on a head, and this changes everything. So when we start learning proportions for building a face, you can draw the face perfectly. Okay, I've been teaching this for 20 years? You can draw a perfect face and have it look like frighteningly strange. Good question. I'll tell you. Hang on. I just want to say that if the head isn't in the right proportion to the face, the perfect face will look wrong. And when you fix the head, the same face looks beautiful. And this goes with subconscious beliefs and responses we have to how things look, whether there's room for a brain, things like that. I want to answer this specific question from Greater Bombay. What would you start drawing first, the iris, the socket, or the brow? I'll tell you exactly what I would do. I always start with just a kind of an egg, an inverted egg, or even just an oval shape when I draw. Problem is, just remember when you're drawing an oval that it's not just a face. It's actually from the chin to the crown. And the crown isn't here. This is the hairline. The crown is actually farther back. So it's like top of head to bottom of head. Now here's the real trick, is that your eye level is halfway. So usually I just sketch, if she's looking up or down, it's gonna change. So we're talking about a straight on head. Eye level is halfway between the chin and the crown. People tend to draw it really high up because psychologically, the eyes are up here to us. People tend to draw them huge, and they tend to draw them way up here, which means no room for the brain. It just starts to look a little Cro-Magnon or whatever, like Neanderthal. So you need a lot of space above the eyes. And once I draw this line, then I can start to map out lightly. The big secret that I teach in all my drawing classes, to train yourself to draw lightly, almost imperceptibly, very light and soft, so that as you get more certain about your choices, as you can sort of see the drawing in its soft, foggy way, as things start looking right, then you get darker. If you start dark, it's very unforgiving. You have to erase. So we start light. So you get this line across the oval, and then you kind of plot that space between the eyes. And then the very next thing I do is I work on these little outlines. I do the crease and the brows after. That's me. You probably might find your own way. But I start with the eye itself, and in its most basic form, it's kind of an almond shape. You can find nuances beyond that for sure, but if you just start with an almond, it gives you a sense of like control, and then you can explore nuances. I always draw my upper eyelid darker, because if you think about it, all those heavy lashes do carry a weight, and I think that's also why it's very common to use dark eyeliner on the top. And of course you don't have to. But I also, in all of my drawing, tend to draw dark on the underside of things because daylight hits from above. So I always shade under the chin. I always shade under the nose. I always shade the upper lip and under the bottom lip. Even though you don't really see it. I always shade under things. So to me, the upper eyelid, I shade under it. Does that make sense? And that helps the eye pop as well. So now we got more than 3 tips. We talked about the size of the eyes. Ooh, I remember with the last, hang on. I got a call during my video. Are you guys still there? Did I lose it? Hang on, guys. Am I here? Just a minute. I'm live streaming. Hang on, guys. I lost you now. Can you? Okay, we're back. I just want to finish up. The final thing I wanted to say, the final mistake people make most with faces is that they draw the outline of the lips with a heavy black pencil. You can see the outline of your lips. But in truth, there is no black line. So I always squint to see things that are black. Sorry for the delay there. If you squint, you'll see black here. You see black here. You'll see black inside my iris. You'll see black in my nostril, under, inside my mouth. There's no lip. There's no black edge. Sometimes there's a nice little black in the corners. But you want to be really careful where you use black. If you do those black outlines on your lips, it's going to look like lip liner lips with no lipstick inside. So when I draw lips, there's a lot more tips in my About Faces course, but I draw the shadows around the lips. Don't get scared by the word shadows. My whole job is to undo scared for you, so you feel safe enough to be playful and explore and make discoveries. That's what my classes are about at fashionillustrationtribe.com. I'm Laura Volpintesta, and About Faces online course is a lifetime access course. that has videos you can watch again and again. I'll teach you the front face, head, hair, profile, 3/4 angle, and I'll also teach you my 3 favorite apps that I use for fashion illustration personally, and you'll get to feel like the ins and outs of each one and how the language of drawing on a digital device works. It's something I know you'll enjoy because if you're on Insta, then you're on social. Sharing your digital drawings on social is a blast. They're beautiful. You don't need lighting. They're already lit. They're shareable. They're lush and delicious and bright, especially if you have a full-size tablet or iPad. It's eye candy to do this kind of play by yourself. So share this. Thank you. You're amazing too. Hey, how do you like my fabric? I could totally see this in one of your pictures, Greta Bombay. I can't believe I don't know your first name, but I'm going to look it up. But, you know, Insta keeps not showing me your photos, so I keep looking you up and then liking them all because I love your stuff. Thank you, everyone who stopped by. I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I'll be back with more. The link in the bio, Laura Volpintesta on Instagram, or if you go to my courses tab at fashionillustrationtribe.com, you can sign up for About Faces. Right now, it's closing Friday midnight Pacific for signups, and it's 2:22 till then rather than the usual 3:33. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention is that in this course there's private discussion areas, so you can always ask questions, upload photos. Wherever you're stuck, I love to unstick you. That's the whole point. That's why I do this. So I look forward to meeting you. Sign up now because I'm only opening it for 10 this summer in this registration round. But don't worry, you don't have to show up at a certain time because everything's pre-recorded so that you can just play and log in when you're ready. I took some online courses this year in art and fashion, and you know, some of them I signed up and I didn't even look at them for two months later. It's fine. It's fine. That's the whole point. I've taught in a university system for a long time. I don't want to grade you. I don't want to berate you. Women are busy, complex creatures. You log in when you're ready. I'm here to serve you. Thanks for joining me. It's been fun to talk with you. Bye.